Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm bringing you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. I'm currently at work right now, so I really just want to get in and get out. I see this topic. I can't even really express myself as to how I would really like to express myself because there are people outside, and it's like, this title, I'm already irked just simply by what this title says. So link is down in the description box. Let's just get in and get out. Cora, Jade, and Gigi Dolan respond to not working hard comments. Cora claims she was body shamed by bosses and co-workers. On May 2nd, WWE made a round of talent releases that included main roster and NXT talent. Gigi Dolan and Cora Jade were among the releases despite being regularly featured on NXT television. Both women competed at NXT Stand and Deliver in the kickoff 4-way elimination tag team match. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer said about the releases, and I quote, "Many of those cut were perceived as not working hard in training. And if you don't work hard in training, there's so many people who do. And at this point, if the feeling is you're not working hard in training, I saw the term lazy. The ones who are lazy are gonna be gone, and the ones who didn't stand out are gonna be gone." Gigi Dolan and Cora J responded to the report with Gigi stating, and I quote, "When I wasn't traveling to work for either of the two companies I was working for, I trained very hard 3 to 4 days a week, bumping my ass off and doing cardio drills with one of the best, toughest coaches I've worked with, and worked out every single day, with live events every other weekend. So yeah, I don't want to hear this, lol. The way my body feels says otherwise." Cora claims she went to her own gym outside of work because she was body shamed by bosses and co-workers and fans. And I quote from Cora Jade, this, talking about Gigi Dolan's original post, "Plus, can't forget having to go to my own gym outside of work after strength and conditioning that wasn't doing anything for me other than to get me body shamed by my bosses, co-workers, and fans. Crazy," wrote Cora. I mean, there are multiple ways you can look at this, folks. I mean, on one hand, I could sit here and I can tell you, oh, well, they shouldn't have made these kind of comments, or how conspicuous, how convenient that you're making comments like this right now that you're released. It feels like you're trying to gain sympathy and all this other kind of shit. I can tell you that, but to be perfectly honest with you, if we're going to keep it balanced, right? I just made a video yesterday about the Keanu guy, right? And one of the things I said was, you got to be able to toe the line, right? That's one of the first things you have to do. You have to learn how to toe the line. And if you're going to go out there and you're going to run your mouth, then you're going to put your position, I mean, if you even want to call what Gigi Dolan or Cora J for that matter had in regards to positioning, I don't know what you mean by that. It depends on how you derive it, I guess. But if you talk, you put your position into, jeopardy, right? We just said this yesterday about Keanu. But then at the same time, though, man, it's like, I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like, you got to give me proof. Like, you got to give me something to work with, because you're saying something that's pretty egregious right now, especially in today's political climate. You can't just outwardly say something on the lines of this and expect some type of sympathy. You know what I'm saying? Because at least how I look at it, one of the first things I'm going to ask is, really, in 2025, you really expect me to believe fat shaming is a consequence from what you're saying? At least from what's being suggested, right? I'm not saying consequences in the manner of like, oh, you're going to get in trouble, but consequences in the sense of like, if you were reprimanded for this situation, do you not believe that people aren't going to, rally up around you in order to, at least make sure that what you or what they believe you should be getting as far as some type of repercussions is justified? That's what I'm saying. I'm suggesting, like, you just can't go out of your way and make these kind of suggestions without, some type of proof. Like, I'm not even asking for anything substantial, like a note, something text worthy. I mean, I can understand you grouping in fans so you can make your situation see a little bit more, plausible, because fans say this kind of stuff all the time. But like, just give me something a little bit more substantial than just your words, because of the accusations that you're making, it can harm people in their positions. And I would like to see them harmed, to some certain degree, just going off of the extent of how badly you were quote unquote fat shamed. Like, was it fat shame to the degree where they're just like making you feel like you want to skibbity yourself, or like, you get what I'm trying to say? I mean, how do you even hold people accountable nowadays? I mean, I know it's a thing that we typically say nowadays, my truth, all this other nonsense, all these other kinds of buzzwords, but truly, how do you expect people to hold others accountable with just your words, bro. Like, we see this shit all the time. Like, again, I'm not saying, for an example, with Cora, Jade, or even Gigi, Dolan, that what you're saying is invalid, right? All I'm saying is, how do you expect anyone to take you at your word, right? Right? Especially in today's climate. I'm just going to keep harping on that, today's climate. How do you expect people to see what you're saying and then come back and then suggest otherwise? You know what I mean? Like, you expect me to believe in today's WWE, where even saying someone is, for an example, a man or a woman, unless you're Logan Paul, I guess, will probably get you some type of heat or some kind of consequences to come back and at least apologize or say something to rectify the situation, which I totally believe will happen with Logan Paul. You really believe me to think that they're going to outwardly say this in front of other co-workers, in front of other people who can probably hold this against them also? It's ridiculous. Because, like, again, what you're saying, are you saying, who are these co-workers? Mind you, why should I take the co-workers seriously? Okay, you guys are associates. You guys are on even platforms. Like, there's no dynamics or anything like that that has to be construed in some type of manner to make me believe that there's some consequences that have to be administered because they said something like that. You know what I'm saying? But if you're suggesting your bosses, okay, it's Cora, Jade, and Gigi Dolan. What are you saying? Are you saying Shawn Michaels called you guys fat? Are you saying Shawn Michaels? And even if he did, like, to what degree? Again, we're talking about Shawn Michaels nowadays, where apparently dude is invited to every cookout in the world. And you want me to believe that homeboy just walked up to you and he was like, lose some weight, fatty? Like, to what degree, man? And I do find it very funny, though, like how they say the word lazy, right? Dave Meltzer, he threw out the word lazy. And then they come and they say something along the lines of, oh, well, does it have anything to do with me working out or whatever the case may be? Because I bust my ass every day working out. Dude, what you're describing, again, the boys were on the road 300 days out of the week back in the days. You guys get 3 days off and you work television like what, once every week? Like, yeah, I would think. What is your workout schedule? Like, what is it? Like, I don't know the extent of what you're saying. You just saying that you did these things. I don't know what time. I don't know what length. I don't know to what extent that you actually put in the work for me to believe that what they're actually suggesting isn't really the case compared to all the other superstars. Not to mention, they mentioned standing out. What do you do to stand out? Plus the actual workout in itself. You know what I mean? It's just that I feel like they're leaving so much out. And I don't know how to appropriately qualify any of that. I don't know how to appropriately quantify any of that. And again, all I'm asking for is something substantial. Stop throwing out broad words and stop making everything seem as if it's the end of the world or it's the end all be all because of what society today typically uses as some type of scapegoat, some type of, you guys ever heard of the term microaggression? I know you heard of that before, right? They'll even take things that are completely minimalistic and then coin it something and then use it obsessively in place of actual legitimate harmful things in order to make this word become the new buzzword of the day for you to harp on and say that it's the most egregious thing known to mankind whenever you relate it to whatever they happen to be going through. That's all that I'm saying. They've done it again with body shaming. You know what I mean? I don't know what you mean by body shaming. I don't know to what degree or to extent of what I'm supposed to be sinking my teeth into and harping over and getting everybody with their pitchforks and tikis and all the time going around. And I just don't get it, bro. I don't understand what they're trying to reference and what they're trying to harp on this time. You know what I mean? But I think to even go a little bit deeper and it gets even worse, at least to me, I can't really speak for anybody else, but at least for me, is that I look on Twitter, right? I look on X and I look up and down the posts and I look at the replies and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm seeing people already taking their side. Like, that's the kind of shit that I'm talking about. Like, they're already jumping the gun and taking their side. And it's like, I try nowadays to be a little bit more nuanced as life starts to go forward, as things start to change around me. I try to be more balanced. I try to be more center. I try to be more partial, but I can never get over that because it's like I see everybody else and the way they look at circumstances and then they jump the gun when it fits their political narrative. You know what I mean? And it is somewhat political because obviously the circumstances and the way they set it up, they'll tell you it's not political because it's their way of being able to get across their narrative. So it doesn't seem as if what they're saying is self-serving, but it is. It absolutely is. And again, you see the fans, you see everybody already rallying against him. And like I said, when you group it in and you mention fans, it makes it seem way more substantial because fans do crazy shit like that all the time. You know what I mean? I don't know why nowadays we just can't rely on evidence. We just can't rely on something that's a little bit more substantial, something that's a little bit more partisan that we can look at. I don't get it. Instead, it's just jumping directly to take their side. You know, again, I talked about this, what was it, either yesterday or the day before yesterday, the whole victimizee complex, where it's like you see two young women, they're making claims, they have a huge fandom, and then automatically people are going to rush to their aid. People are going to see what they're saying, and they're going to say that they're justified in what they're saying, even though legitimately in any other situation or any other case, especially if it was affecting you, you will want something of some sort of kind of evidence before having it thrown out there, especially if for nothing else, not to say that this is the case, but it does seem kind of convenient. Even if you are on the side of Cora, Jade, and Gigi, Dolan, please, at the very least, be balanced enough, be nonpartisan enough to at least suggest, at least come to the grips of the fact that the timing seems very convenient. You can say on one hand, hey, you don't want to ruffle, they didn't want to ruffle any feathers while in the company, but keep in your mind, if for nothing else, just keep it in your mind. Please keep in your mind that it does seem, at the very least, super convenient. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I can hear people outside already walking around, so I have to get back to work. If there's any updates on the situation, obviously I'll be here to talk more about it. So just be mindful, okay? And again, I can't stress this enough. For people who are going to take the side of Cora, Jade, and Gigi Dolan, that's your prerogative. I'm not saying that what you're doing is wrong. Just saying, just suggesting, don't jump the gun. I mean, some of you are already doing that, but for some of you who are still at least finding out the news, at least through me, don't jump the gun. As always, my name is Millennial Smart, and I'll be catching you guys later. A deuces and a pea ice.